Yeah, good morning, everyone. So we need to continue our session, boot camp session. And this is the second day of boot camp session. Yes, last time what happened, in the last session, what we have seen is I spoke about full stack Java development course. And I said your full stack Java development course categorized into two parts. One is called front end, one is called back end. So that is what I explained in the last session. And even what we did, yes, in the last session, we completed front end, guys. We completed front end. So today what we need to do, today we need to cover back end. So what in the back end, how we are using Java, and what are the frameworks we need to use in the back end, and what are the applications we are creating, how we are creating. So like that we need to see today. So today's intention is only to speak about back end. Front end I already completed. Assume that if you miss my first session, so you just contact to the management, guys. Okay. So you can go to www.qualitythought.com. Sorry, www.qualitythought.in. So you go to that website, you can find the contact number, information, everything. So you just contact to the management and just try to connect and just get the first day of session video. Okay. So now let's see, let me start my session now. Let me start the session with the backend. So what I'm going to explain, let me open my PPT here first. Okay. So see here, now today what I want to do, now I want to start my Java Bootcamp day 2 session. So in this session, we are going to see the complete backend. So what are the things we need to use in the backend, and what are the applications we are creating in the backend. So see here, let me start with what here. Okay. Back in backend, what we are doing is nothing but we are taking the support of what here? Java. We have various backend technologies. We have a Python, we have a .NET, we have a Java, we have a Node.js, we have a Express.js, we have a PHP. So as per the full stack Java development course, we are taking in the backend as Java. So Java means we have core Java and we have an advanced Java. Advanced Java means JDBC, servlets, and JSP. So this combinedly is known as what here? Advanced Java. Then even we have what here? Frameworks. So what are the frameworks we have? One is called Spring Boot, one is Spring Security, and microservices. We have many more, guys. We have a Hibernate, even we have a Spring Cloud, even we have, okay, struts. We have multiple frameworks in Java side, but which are most popular today is nothing but Spring Boot, Spring Security, and microservices. Next, databases also comes under backend only. We have multiple databases in the market. For example, we have Oracle, MySQL, MongoDB, Teradata, Sybase, PostgreSQL. So we have multiple databases. All the databases comes under backend. Even we have tools also. Tools is nothing but we have what? Maven, Gradle, JUnit, Git, Log4j, Jenkins, Postman. We have multiple what here? Tools also available. If anyone says what are the things comes under backend. So backend, in the backend, we will get what? Java, frameworks, databases, and tools. Okay. So next what I want to tell you is nothing but we are going to learn what is Spring Boot today. So why we need to learn Spring Boot? Sir, assume that I am a non-technical person. And yesterday I told you in the front end, we are using either React or Angular. as per the India. In India, these two front-end technologies are very famous. One is React, one is Angular. But when it is comes to backend, in backend we are using Java. But in the companies, we are developing the projects using Spring Boot only. We are not using advanced Java, guys. So advanced Java is required. Advanced Java we need to learn only for interview purpose. Because if you are a fresher, if you are going for any interview, in interview they will ask you the questions on code Java, advanced Java, like that. But remember, if you want to work with IT industry, if you want to work with real-time projects, then compulsory we need to learn Spring Boot. So what is this Spring Boot actually? One second. So once again, guys, those who connect later, for them sometimes screen is not visible. I will stop the screen. I will share the screen. Okay. Stop. I will share the screen. 1 second. Screen will be visible. Sometimes it will happen. Now everyone can see the shared screen. Don't worry. Everyone. So check your volume, guys. My volume is good. You check your volume. Okay now. So now let's see this one now. What I was telling is nothing but I was telling what is actually the Spring Boot. Spring Boot is an open source, guys. If you see properly, you can find here. Spring Boot is a what here? Open source. Open source means what here? It's a free, guys, free. You don't need to pay the money. And it is a Java based framework, guys. Why I'm telling it's a Java based framework, you know, in the Spring Boot, we are writing Java code. So it is a free and it is a Java based framework developed by Pivotal team. Who developed this? Pivotal team developed this. Okay. So what is the next? What is the next? Spring Boot provides rapid application development feature to the what here? Spring framework. Sir, I didn't understand these 2 points. See here, what happens, earlier, before Spring Boot, we used to learn Spring framework. But in the Spring framework, we cannot develop our application rapidly, fastly. No, Spring framework does not give you RAD features, guys. RAD features. RAD features means rapid application development features. It will not give you. Sir, why it will not give you? Why? Because see, this Spring framework is having one file, guys. That file name is application context.xml file. So there will be one file whenever we create a Spring framework project. So there is a one file will be generated automatically. That file name is application context.xml file. And in that XML file, what we need to do? We need to do configurations. Which configurations? Bean configurations. Bean configurations we need to do. Even we need to do dependency injection. So like this, we need to do lot of configurations. Suppose if I want to write any Spring framework application, user is responsible to do configurations. We need to do bean configurations. We need to perform dependency injections. So definitely to do this configuration, it will consume some time or not? Yes. So that is the reason today we are working with what here? Spring Boot. So Spring Boot says you don't need to do any configuration list. You don't need to do any configurations. Why? Because I will support auto configuration. I will support auto configuration features. You do only minimum configurations. I will do maximum configurations. So tell me, working with Spring framework is good or working with Spring Boot is good? Definitely you people will say working with Spring Boot is good because it supports auto configurations. It support auto configurations features. Very good, guys. But sir, you said just now, in the Spring Boot, we are doing only minimum configuration. Maximum configuration will be done by the Spring Boot application only. So where we will do, here also we have XML file, no. In Spring Boot, we have application.properties file, or you can say applications.yaml file. YML, we pronounce YAML file. So either you can use properties file, you can use, otherwise you can use YAML file. So in this file only we need to do some minimum configuration only. So developing application using Spring Boot is more faster when compared to Spring Framework. That's why I'm telling here in my PPT, what I'm telling, Spring Boot provides RAD features to the Spring Framework. Rapid application development to Spring Framework. Sir, why you are telling that rapid application development for Spring Framework? Because we are dealing with Spring Boot, na? See, we are working with what here Spring Boot. But remember, Spring Boot internally deals with Spring Framework only. Understood my point here now? So tell me what user is doing. User is interacting with whom? Spring Boot. Spring Boot internally using what? Spring Framework. So indirectly we are providing rapid application development for which framework? Spring Framework only. So working with Spring Boot is nothing but indirectly we are working with Spring Framework only. Okay, that is the point is there here. Yes. Next is what here? You see the third line. Spring Boot is used to create standalone application. Standalone application means, you know very well, any Java program which is having main method, that is known as standalone application. So whenever we are creating a Spring Boot application, every Spring Boot application is having main method. Every Spring Boot application. That's why it is known as what here? Standalone. Very good. Next is what here? Production ready grade. Sir, what is this production ready grade? So production ready grade Spring based applications with a minimum configuration. Sir, I didn't understand this. Okay, no. See here, one thing I want to tell you. Assume that I am developing Spring Framework application. Or if I am working with Spring Framework, so what we need to do, you know, as a user or as a developer, we need to do maximum configurations. We need to do configurations. We need to arrange physical database. We need to arrange physical servers. So tell me, if you want to create any application in the Spring Framework, so who is the responsible to manage the database? Who is the responsible to manage the server? Who is the responsible to do auto configurations? User. We need to do this. I need to install database. I need to install the server. I need to do complete configurations. So tell me, it is called production ready grade application? Huh? No, it is not production ready grade application. Because we are doing everything. We are arranging, we are managing here. But see the speciality of the Spring Boot. Spring Boot applications comes with what here? Comes with auto configurations. Auto configurations it comes, and it comes with embedded database. Okay, embedded database, and it comes with embedded server. Understood my point here? No, it comes with what here? embedded database, and it comes with what? Embedded database and embedded server. So you don't need to arrange the database already available in the Spring Boot. You don't need to install any server. You don't need to manage any server. Server will also there along with Spring Boot. So tell me, it is production ready grade application or not? That application directly we can use or not? Yes. So that is a specialty is there, sir. So that only I'm telling, Spring Boot is used to create standalone because it is having main method, and production ready grade Spring based application with a minimum configuration. We are not doing maximum configuration. We are doing only minimum configuration because it supports auto configurations. And now you can see here, in short, Spring Boot is a combination of Spring Framework, embedded server, embedded database. So might be when you are going for an interview, in interview they will ask you one question. Can you please tell me what are the embedded servers are there in Spring Boot? So what are the embedded servers are there with Spring Boot? Tomcat, Jetty, and Tau. So Tomcat, Jetty, and Tau, this is a server. These are the servers supported by Spring Boot, embedded servers. Inbuilt, you can say. Next is what here? Embedded database. What are the databases it supports? HQ, HSQL, Derby. So these are the what here? Embedded database supported by Spring Boot. So I hope you people understood what is Spring Boot now. So Spring Boot specially came into the existence only for rapid application development to create standalone production grade application by pivotal team. It is a Java based open source application framework. Okay. Now I got an idea. In the real time, if I want to work as a Java developer, so definitely today you need to learn Spring Boot. Without Spring Boot, you cannot create any application in industry, guys. Remember, Spring Boot is mandatory for everybody now. If you are a Java developer, definitely. If you want more package, definitely you need to migrate yourself to Spring Boot only. Okay, then what is the next one? Next one is what here? Okay, sir, you spoke about Spring Boot. I'm very much happy. I understood also what is Spring Boot. But why we need to use Spring Boot? Only that industry is following? No. So see here, why Spring Boot? Spring Boot is used to develop following things in Java ecosystem. In Java ecosystems, why we are using this Spring Boot, we will see today. First of all, I will say to create standalone application. To create standalone application, and one more thing it is, assume that if I am creating, one second guys, one second. So what I was telling is nothing but, guys, I will do one thing. I will talk to you people at the end of the session. Okay, don't worry. If you have any queries, you drop the messages. We'll talk at the end of the session. Okay. So what I was talking about is nothing but a standalone application. See, I told you, whenever we are creating a Spring Boot, every Spring Boot is having main method. You don't need to create. You just create one Spring Boot project, automatically main method will come. So that any application which is having main method, that is known as standalone. So then even Spring Boot is used to create a REST APIs. REST means secure APIs. So I will show you today what is REST APIs, why we need to use this REST APIs, and how to generate the REST APIs. Then Spring Boot is also used to create a microservices, mini services. Today I will give you one or two examples, okay, on microservices. Why we required microservices like that. Then even Spring Boot is used to create a web applications. This is a wide range of applications where we are using Spring Boot, guys. So tell me tomorrow if anybody says why we are using Spring Boot, what will you say? Spring Boot is used to create standalone application, to generate REST APIs, to create microservices, and to develop web applications. Okay, so these are the things we are going to develop. Okay, now. So now what I am going to explain to you is, what is standalone application? I said now, an application which contains main method is called standalone application. So now what I'm going to do now, what I'm going to do today, first of all, we will see how to create a standalone application in Spring Boot. Assume that I am new to the Java. I am new to the Java and I don't have any knowledge in Java. So you don't worry. Everyone will understand my classes easily. So you can see here, assume that this is the Spring Boot. If you want to create any Spring Boot application, Spring Boot application, we can create in two ways only. Remember, we can create in two ways. One, we can use IDEs, integrated development environments. I told you yesterday also, in the real time, where we are writing the code, where we are generating our application means inside IDEs only. So for every technology, we have particular IDEs, guys. Okay, so we can use IDEs. Otherwise, we can use Spring Initializer. What we can use? Spring Initializer. So there are the two ways are there to generate our Spring Boot applications. So I will be giving you first Spring Initializer. I will just give you like for how to get how to create the project using Spring Initializer. You go to the what here Google. In the Google, you type Spring Initializer. Then you can find here start.spring.io. Just click on this. Then you can create a Spring Boot project from here. For example, if you need a Maven project, you can go for Maven. If you want to create a Gradle project, you can go to Gradle. So like this, you can choose here. You need Java project, yes, Java project. And even if you want to take the version, I need 3.0.3, if you can take that version. So like that, you can create the project here. But remember, in this, using this Spring Initializer, you are not creating the project, you are just creating the project structure. Again, this project structure we need to use in our IDEs only. So that's why I'm not showing any example on Spring Initializer. If you want to use, you can use, but I always prefer to work with what here IDEs. So what we will do, what are the IDEs we are using in the Spring Boot, we will use, first one is known as Spring Tool Suite, guys. That is known as STS. STS means what here? Spring Tool Suite. Especially Spring people created this IDEs only for Spring applications, to develop Spring applications. Otherwise, we can use IntelliJ, nothing but IntelliJ. Understood my point here? No? So these are the what here? Tools we are using to develop Spring Boot applications in the real time. So let's see, I will install Spring Tool Suite. So what you need to do, you need to go to the Google. You can just type again. You just go to the Google. You just type Spring Tool Suite download. So once if you go to this, you just click on what is spring.io. So you just scroll down. Here it's giving. Okay, I do one thing. Spring tool, yes. 1 second. They have given otherwise I will type STS ID. Sorry. Okay. 1 second. 1 second. We need to go to Spring Tool Suite free download. Okay. Now. So see here, we have this community. I think they have just changed the website here. They have given projects, academy, supports, community. I want to go for what is web. They're giving anything. Otherwise, we can go to some other website. I think they just changed the website here. So you can go to any, okay, any application you go and just, yes. This is a link we have. We will copy this link here. So I will be showing you like, okay, no, paste this. Sorry, I think I did not copy properly. Otherwise, just click on this link. I think they have just updating. I think so. It's not showing. 1 second. We'll go to this one. Actually, that has to be shown there only. They have, I think, updated that Spring Tool Suite. Yeah. So see here we have what here. I want to go for what here? Windows. You just click on this. See here. What is downloaded, guys? Spring Tool Suite. I will be giving you because I think that site is updated. That's why it's not showing. So this is the what here the URL we need to use. And whenever you download this now, it will comes under what here? Jar file. Your software comes under jar file. So once if you run that jar file, then automatically one folder will be created. Okay, one folder will be created. So you can see here, I will be showing you one folder will be created. So it can be anywhere. I will check where it is my. So like this one folder will be created and see this. This is the jar file is coming. So this is the jar file is there here. And whenever you double click or when you run the jar file, so one automatically one STS folder will be created. And if you open this, you can find what here? Spring Tool Suite. So you want to create shortcut, you can create shortcut. See this, right click. You can do create shortcut. You can type what here? Create shortcut. And now what you need to do, you just do cut. You can do, or you can do copy also. You can do cut and you just paste on the browser. Right click, what you need to do, you need to paste. So once if you're done, you can see here, there is a one Spring Tool Suite icon, desktop icon you can see. So let me execute the project in STS now. So what I'm going to do now, let me double click. Let me open. So see this, whenever we open, it will ask for workspace location list, workspace location. But tell me, do we have any workspace location? No. So it will take default workspace location. So what I will do now, I will say, you wait. On the desktop, I want to create one folder. And that folder name is Java Backend. Java backend folder I created. Now what I will do, I will say to the Spring tool suite, whatever the applications I am generating today, all the application you need to store in Java backend folder. So I need to click on this browse button. Now I want to go to the desktop Java backend, and then I need to select the folder. Now it is in Java backend. Then click on what here? Launch. So I want to launch the Spring tool suite. So here you need to wait. And remember, to work with Spring tool suite, minimum you should have 8 GB RAM. Minimum it is. But if you have 8 GB RAM, your system will work somewhat slow, guys. Okay, with not normal speed, it will get somewhat slow. And if you have 16 GB RAM, it is well and good. Well and good, guys. But 8 GB means, you know, it will disturbs the performance of your OS, operating system. So wait here. So let me open this Spring tool suite. So I open, let it be open now. Okay. So now you can see this is my what here? Spring tool suite. Welcome. I mean the page you can see the first. So what I want to do, you can see the right side, you can find here, create new Spring starter project. So you need to click on this. If you won't find this, you can do file. Okay, you just click on file, new. What you can do, Spring starter project. You have two choice. Any of for us we have here. I will go for what? Create new Spring starter project. Click on that. And now you can see here. And to create a Spring Boot project, we required internet. Okay. So now first I want to give the name to the project. Name is nothing but I'm giving first app. I'm giving that first application. You can give any name. And now it will ask like which type of project I want. I am telling I need Maven project. You know, Maven is a project building management tool. So it is good if you are creating Maven project instead of creating a normal or dynamic projects. So always prefer to use Maven. Otherwise you can use what here? Gradle. So, okay. And packaging. Packaging is nothing but, see here, whenever we are working with advanced Java. So what happens in advanced Java, I will tell you guys. Let me open the paint. Assume that if I am creating advanced Java application, assume that I am generating one advanced Java application. In advanced Java application, what we will do, we will write our application, Java application we will write. And then we will have our database also. We will have our database also. So let me say we have a database. And even we have what here? Server also. Let's say this is a server here. I'm giving some example on server. So whatever it may be. So what we need to do in advanced Java, we are packaging them. Packaging them means we are keeping in a single place. We are packaging. That is called what here? Packaging. So we are packaging this complete application into the what here? WAR file is. Where we are keeping? In the WAR file, single file. So what advanced Java says? Advanced Java says, whenever if you are developing any application using me means advanced Java. So your application you need to convert into WAR file. And that WAR file we need to give it to server. We need to deploy in the server. That advanced Java says. But what Spring Boot says? Spring Boot says you don't need to convert into WAR file. You need to convert my application into jar file. So tell me, Spring Boot applications you are converting into WAR file or jar file? Jar files. Why? Because jar files I can use in other applications, but WAR file we cannot use in other applications. So a lot of features are there if you are converting your application into jar file. So that is what here. So that's the reason you can find here. What did you see here? Packaging. Packaging what here? Jar. Packaging jar you can see. And the language which we are using? Java, because it's a Java based framework now. Yes, I'm using Java. And now it is asking what is a Java version. You know, when I visit to Oracle Corporation website, then I came to know the latest version of Java is Java 19. Java 19 came into the market. But remember, in industry, we are working till Java 1.8 only. And after 8, who will become famous? You know, Java 11 will become famous. But in my class, in my session, I am taking Java 8. So why I am using Java 8, do you know? Because I don't want to face any compatibility issue. Compatibility issue means, assume that we are working with operating system. Which operating system? 64-bit operating system. Assume that if I take one software, if I took one software which is 32-bit operating system, which supports 32-bit. So tell me, can I install in my operating system that software? No. What issue will come? Compatibility issue. So remember, whenever we are working with higher versions of Java, so might be that version will not support with other softwares. So compatibility issue will be there here. And in industry also I have seen they are using till Java 8 version only. So in my sessions, in my classes, I will explain till Java 1.8. If required, I will add a few more versions as per the what here industries JD and requirements guys. Okay, now so we are using Java 8. I hope you people got an idea why we are using Java 8. Then we have what here? Group. Group means your package name is. Package name I want to give you. Okay, here I want to give you com dot quality thought. Okay, www. Instead of com, actually quality thought not having com, it is having what? In. Okay, so I am taking what here? In dot quality thought www like this. Then I want to take my artifact, means it should be same name as your project name. What's your project name? First app. That is the first app. Why I'm telling snapshot? Because it's a first release, first version of my application. And you can write demo. Okay, demo project for Spring Boot standalone application. It's not mandatory. Package means here we need to give our base package, and I want to keep my base package same. Quality thought only. I want to keep my base package same. So like this we need to do. Then after that, what I want to do, you can see the downside. You can see downside. There is a what button is there? Next you do. And here you can find some starter. Starter means I didn't understand. See, one thing is there here. One thing is there here. Whenever. Guys, I will explain. As I said, all the questions I am reading, I will explain at the end of the session. You don't worry. See, what happens, we have a Maven projects also, guys. We can create Maven project. In the Maven project, what happened, there is a one form.xml file will come. Project object model. So we have a normal Java project. We have a Spring Boot starter project. We have a dynamic project. Similarly, we have Maven project. So in Maven project, which file will come? Form.xml. I told you already, na? So here, when you are working with Maven project, we have a form.xml file. Form.xml file supports dependencies. Guys. What it will support? Dependencies. It supports dependencies. So dependencies means if you add any dependency, Maven will install the jar file for that dependency. Because in the real time to run any application, we require jar files. So that jar files, who will download? Maven will download. So to say Maven, array Maven, I need this jar file, you download. For that reason, we need to add the dependencies in form.xml file. So that is a work of, user. So who is adding the dependencies in form.xml in Maven project? User is doing. We need to open form.xml. We need to copy the dependency. We need to paste. Then Maven will download that dependencies jar files. But see the speciality of Spring Boot. Spring Boot supports starters. Spring Boot supports starters. Starter is nothing but it's a component of Spring Boot. It's a component of Spring Boot, guys. Okay. So there are 4 components are there for Spring Boot, guys. There are 4 components. One is called auto configuration. Second, we can say starter. Third one, CLI. Fourth one, actuators. So I'm talking about the first component. What is the first component? Starters. So what starters will say? Starters will say, you tell me what I want to add dependencies. You don't do. Hey, user, you don't do. You tell to me, I will add. So in the Spring Boot also, form.xml file will come because we are creating Maven project. So here also we will get form.xml file. But here user is not responsible to add any dependency. We are telling to the starter, a starter, you add the dependency. So see here, that's the reason you can find here available. So what it will do, here it is asking, array, do you need to add any dependency? No, I don't want to add any dependency because this is my first program. I don't require any dependency, guys. Because I want to create standalone application, simple application I want to create. Then what I need to click here? Next. Then I need to do. Now next button is not coming. Then you click on finish. Finish. So it will take some time to create the project. You need to keep some patience. So now just wait here. Just wait here. So you can see in the right side, guys, you can see the progress. Import getting started, content 80%. So you need to wait here, let it be done. Let it be done. You can see here. Yes. So now you can find there is a what here? First application is there. So let me expand this. Let me expand this project. Then you can find Java, main Java, src/main/Java folder. And here only we are writing our code actually. We are writing code. Sir, what will be there in resources? My configuration file. I told you there are 2 ways are there to do configuration. One is application.properties. Otherwise, we can use applications.yaml. So that file will be there in resources. You want to see? I will show you. Click. You can see by default which file is coming. Applications.properties file. You leave it. That is not important because this is my first example. I don't want to do any configurations. I want to create a normal standalone application only. And here you can find test/Java. This is nothing but it will create a testing file, guys. Means your test file where you can write unit testing code. So see here, you can find what is my project name? First app application test.java. Anyhow, for testing also, I don't want to write, but where I want to go today, main/Java. Expand. What is my base package, guys? In dot quality thought www. This is my what here? Package. If you expand, you can find what here? First app application.java. So you just open this. You can find there is a class will be created, first app application, but font is coming very small. Let me increase the font, because one student was asking me, sir, is it Eclipse and STS both are same or not? See, STS is Eclipse based only. So if you want to develop Spring Boot, you can develop in Eclipse also. But especially we are using what is Spring Tool Suite. It is not exactly same. So now you can see here, I'm going to what here? Windows. I'm going what here? Preferences. And then I will go to General. I will go to Appearance, Colors and Fonts. Go to the basics. You just scroll down. Go to text font. Then you can do edit. Then I want to choose almost 16 bold. I will say okay. I will say apply, close. So you do double click, it will become maximize. Double click, it will get minimize. So double click. So tell me, automatically one annotation is coming. What is that annotation? @Spring Boot annotation. Understood my point here now? So automatically for every Spring Boot application, this annotation will be annotated for every class. And you can see here, what is available here? Main method is available. So main method always runs our Spring Boot. This is called runner. Okay. So what I want to do, I want to do one thing here. I want to create system. Otherwise we can write shortcut. Sysout control space. Sysout control space. If you type system.out.println will come. Here we can write, I love Spring Boot programming. Save. So this is how I created my first application. That's it. It's a standalone application. Sir, how to run this application now? See here, double click, it will become maximized. This is my application. First app is my application. Let me close. Right click. Okay, we need to do right click. We need to go to run as. What I should do? Spring Boot application. Click on this. And now you can see my Spring Boot will execute. You can see here. What is the output is coming? I love Spring Boot programming. So tell me, creating a first application in Spring Boot is very tough. Huh? It's very easy. Only you need to do what? Package name. You need to give your project name. Next, finish only. Run as Spring Boot. So learning technologies are very easy, guys. Very easy, guys. Believe me or not believe me, if you are not make your hands okay on practice, then it looks complicated. But if you are dirty your hands in practice, then everything is simple to you. So make sure that when you are attending any course from anywhere, you need to practice that course, then only it looks easy for you. Only attending the classes will not give you the knowledge, guys. Remember, knowledge will get if you practice also. Fine now. So this is the first application we developed by using Spring Boot now. I hope you people understood what is standalone application. An application which contains main method is called what here? Standalone application. You know very well. Every technology supports what here? Standalone applications. Yes. Now I want to come to the very important topic. Why we are using Spring Boot in the real time. See here, now I want to talk about what is REST API. You know, in the industry, Spring Boot widely used only for two purposes only, widely used. One is called to generate REST APIs, to create REST APIs. Second is to build microservices. Okay, so today I will be giving you how to create REST APIs. See here, what I want to tell you is nothing but you see this. API stands for Application Programming Interface. It's a full form. Application Programming Interface. An API is an interface the two computer systems use to exchange the information securely over the network. Sir, I did not understand this. What is this? I didn't understand. What are you telling? I don't know. Okay, wait. I will give you one diagram. So with the help of the diagram, you can understand that easily. Next is what here? Most business applications have to communicate with other internal and third-party applications to perform various tasks. Sir, I don't know what is REST API. I don't know why we are using. Okay, so let me give you one diagram so that you can understand easily. You know very well, we have multiple. Okay, don't worry, I will give you all the answers. We will give you everything, video, PPT, everything we'll give you. So just listen the class. I will talk to you at the end of the session today. Don't worry. So see here, what happened, we have multiple airways. For example, we have Malaysia Airlines is there. Malaysia Airlines to book the flights. Even we have what here? Thai Airways, Air India, Air Asia, Emirates. We have multiple airlines are available, guys. So I am giving one example to you. One example I want to give you. Assume that this is a Thai Airways. What I want to give you? Thai Airways. Thai Airways is there. Thai Airways. You know, when I was in Australia, guys, I went to Australia for 2 years. So to go to Australia, we don't have any direct flight. So there is a connecting flight is there. For example, if you are going with Thai Airways, first you need to go to Bangkok. From Bangkok, you can, then again, there will be one more flight to Australia. That is called connecting flights. Suppose if I'm going with Singapore Airlines. So first you need to go to Singapore, then after from Singapore, you will be going to Australia. Suppose if you are going for Malaysia Airlines. So first you need to go to Malaysia. From Malaysia, you need to go to Australia, like that. So while going, I went with Thai Airways, which is very good actually in terms of service, guys. I really like Thai Airways. Okay, food was not good, but their service is good, guys, apart from the food. Okay, so what happens, assume that Thai Airways is there. Assume that I want to go to Australia tomorrow. I want to go to Australia. So what happens? I need to book the ticket now. I need to book the ticket. So tell me, will you go to Thai Airways website? Huh? For Thai Airways, they have their own website. But we are not going to their official websites and we are not booking our tickets. So what we are doing is nothing but we have some third-party applications. What is the third-party applications? www.makemytrips. Okay, makemytrip.com. Yes or no? Tell me. So I will be showing you here. You can see here in the Google, I will show you. You can go to here, you can say make my trip. So you can see here, makemytrip.com website is there here. And using that, website, what you can do, you can book the what? Flights. Not only flights, we can do many more things. But I'm just giving you simple example. You can go to the third party that is known as make my trips, makemytrip.com. Otherwise, we can go to www.goibibo.com. We have a GoIbibo also. Using that also, we can book the tickets. Otherwise, we can go to www.booking.com. You know, we have multiple third-party applications based. We have multiple third-party applications, or you can say third-party vendors. And through this third-party applications only, using this, these applications only, we are booking our tickets. Okay. So assume that this Thai Airways having actual system base. They have actual system. Actual system means they have their own servers, or they have distributed computing. Anything guys, anything as per the company policies. I don't know what they are using. So they can have the servers, or they can have what here? Distributed computing system. So what happens, if you want to book the ticket, so you'll go to makemytrip.com and you will say to makemytrip.com, hey, makemytrip.com, I want to go to the Australia. So what they will do, they will give the request. They will give the request to what here? Thai Airways. Thai Airways, we want to book one ticket. I am make my trip. So tell me, tomorrow I can also give request to Thai Airways. I can also tell to Thai Airways, hey Thai Airways, book my ticket. I am make my trip. Yes or no? Tell me. Anybody can say, anybody can claim that I am from GoIbibo. I am from booking.com. You book the ticket. And one more thing it is, we cannot interact with actual system nowadays. Because actual system is having the complete details. Their employees details, their business details, their flight details, aeroplane details, manufacturing details, everything will be there. But tell me, make my trip required all the details or only flight details? Only flight details only, na? So that is the reason Thai Airways people will not allow you to communicate with the actual system. They will say, don't communicate with my server. I will not allow you to communicate with my server. Understood my point here? No? So that is the reason they have generated one API. This is known as what here? Flight. Okay, flight booking APIs. What they will generate? They will generate one API. What is that API? Flight booking API. So that flight booking API is created by Thai Airways. It's an interface. It's an interface between third-party applications and actual system. So what we will do, now make my trip will give request to whom? That API. GoIbibo also gives request to API. And bookings.com will give the request to API only. So that is the reason API stands for application programming interface. And using these two applications, two computers are sharing the information or exchanging the information or communicating, guys. So tell me, are we directly communicating with actual system of any company, guys? No. So what we are dealing with what? APIs. APIs. That APIs contains only flight information. Okay, sir. Now I got an idea why we required API in the real time. Because I will not allow anybody to interact with my system. I never allow anybody to interact with my server. They can do any operation tomorrow. I will give only the required data to them. Unnecessary data or access to my servers or distributed computing system, to my clusters, I don't want to give any access. Only flight information only I want to give it. So that API will do that. But remember here, See, they generated one API. So what happens, Make My Trip is booking one ticket. Go Ibobo also booking one ticket. And booking also doing one ticket. They are booking the ticket. Everyone is doing one. They are booking the ticket. So total how many ticket is reserved now? 3. 3 tickets booked now. So what happens? Make My Trip is telling I did 3. Go Ibobo is telling I did 1. Booking is telling I did 1. Too honest. One is not honest. One is liar. So Make My Trip is telling I did 3. Total booking is done 3 only. And Make My Trip is claiming that I did 3. And Go Ibobo is telling I did 1. And booking is telling I did 1. So tell me, it's a very complicated or not? That is the reason they generated one API key, guys. One API key. That API key is also known as the secret key, guys. Secret key. So for every third-party applications, they will give one API key which is unique for everybody. So whenever Make My Trip is giving the request to API, so Make My Trip need to pass that API key. So what Thai Airways will do? Thai Airways first validate that API key. They will check, do they have the same API key or not in their system? Yes. It means he is a valid user. He is a valid request it is. Then the ticket will be booked on the name of Make My Trip. So tell me, anybody can claim that I booked 3 now? No. And one more thing it is, for security purpose, we are using what here? API key. For security purpose. Tomorrow, if any person, a person in middle of attack, ethical hackers, if they give the request with any API key, they will validate internally. That API key, do we have or not? If not, they will refuse the request. They will refuse the request. And there are some systems are available. If you give continuous request with wrong API keys, your API key will get blocked. Understood my point here? No, that systems are available. And one more thing it is not mandatory, guys. It is not mandatory that every API must have API key. There are many APIs are there. Those who don't have any API key, that is general for the public, general for everybody. For example, weather information. In our mobile phone, weather information will come. Nowadays, in the laptops also, weather information, it will show in the bottom. You can see here. You can see this. What is showing? 28 degrees Celsius. Yes or no, tell me. So like this information is coming because of API only. But this API does not have any API key, secret key. So I will give you one simple example to you so that you can understand easily. So what I was telling is nothing but you can see here. See, Make My Trip is giving the request to whom? API. API is communicating internally with the servers. That is called what here? API. REST API. Secure API. So now what happens, I will give you one API, guys. http://www res countries, I can say rescountries.com/v3.1/all. So let me copy this API and let me go here. Here. What I will do now, you can see here, I will do one thing. I will paste here, enter. So whenever I type this, you can see all the countries information is coming. This API is giving what information? All the countries. See this, control plus. Who is coming first one? Iceland. You can find all the countries, guys. You just scroll down, you can find all the countries information, their flag, their rupees, their capital city, what are their regional languages. Every information will be available. If you won't believe me, you press Ctrl F, you type India. So it will give you the India information, who is our capital, everything will be given. Okay. So what is available, guys, here? Indian rupees. What is our symbol? R. That is rupees symbol it is. Okay. Every information, flag information also available. Which information? Flag. Flag information will be also available in this. So these APIs are what here? Open to everybody. So if you want to read total countries information, what we are using? restcountries.com v3.1/all. But here, do you find any API key? Not required. Now, this is open to everybody, this information. Now, tell me, with the help of this API, are you communicating with any database? Are you communicating with any server? No, we are interacting with API. API interact with their servers and databases internally. So that is known as what here? REST APIs today. So you can see today, everywhere we are using REST APIs only. For example, you can take in e-commerce websites. In e-commerce website also, we are fetching the information from REST APIs only. You go and check online booking a food order. So when you do online food order, there also we are fetching the information based on what here? REST APIs only. Remember that point, which is having every information base. So that is the reason the demand of Spring Boot increases today. So why the Spring Boot and Java why use, because of we are creating the REST APIs. So what Thai Airways is telling, A make my trip, A go ibobo, A booking.com. Whenever if you want to give the request, give request like this, / what's the name of this? Thai Airways / what I need? Book. You give this request. You give like this request here. You give like this request here. Then only I will book it. So remember, REST API. API is nothing but what here? Some people will say API means endpoints. API means what here? Endpoints. Endpoints means this one. See here, you can see endpoints here. After countries.com, what we are writing? v3.1/all. This is the endpoint for this API. Similarly, I want to keep what here? This endpoint for my API, guys. So understood everybody why we required REST API now? So directly are we communicating with actual system of any company, guys? No. For any company, we are not interacting with actual system. We are interacting with API. API will give you that interface, will give you all the information. Okay. Now I understood why we need to learn REST API, why we need to create REST API. So next to what I want to tell you, let's say airline ticket booking system. Otherwise, you can say flight booking management. Let me say airline ticket booking system, or you can say flight booking system also. So what I will do, I will give you an example, guys. But remember, to develop this example, what I'm going to do, I want to explain some annotations. Why? Because why I want to explain some annotations to you, because see here. When it comes to like what is Spring framework is, when it comes to Spring framework, in Spring framework, what we are doing is nothing but we have one file called application.xml file in Spring framework. So everything we need to write the code there only, means we have XML configurations. But XML is outdated now. Now no one is working with XML. Even our Spring Boot, not support XML configuration. It supports annotations. What it supports? Annotation. So it means whenever I will create a Spring Boot project, you can't find any XML file. Sir, when I am working with advanced Java is having XML file. Suppose if I am working with a Spring framework, you can find XML file. But whenever I am working with the Spring Boot, you can't find any XML file, because in Spring Boot, we are dealing with annotations. We are dealing with annotations. Annotations are special interfaces. Special interfaces means we need to write at the rate. Annotation always starts with at the rate. Then you need to start with capital letter init cap, initial letter capital. So what are the annotations we required? You can see here. For we required what here? REST controller, post mapping, get mapping, put mapping, delete mapping. So these are the what here annotations I want to use in my application. Because my application does not support XML configuration, my application support annotations only. So these are the REST annotations I'm going to take in my application, guys. Anyhow, I will show you why we need to use these annotations one by one when I'm creating the first example for REST API. So now let's see this. Okay, sir. These are the annotations we are using. I will explain slowly this. Only just focus. These are the REST annotations are available. We have few more, guys, few more. But in my application, I want to use these annotations. And one more thing it is, I told you Spring Boot is used to generate REST APIs only, na? So see here, what are the REST APIs I'm going to cover today? So I'm going to cover here. So see here, what are the REST APIs I'm going to cover is nothing but I'm going to cover post request, get request, put request, delete request. If time is there, I will cover all of them. If time is not available, means I will go for post and get. Minimum 2, I will just try to cover it. Okay, now. So these are the what here. So you can see here, localhost : 9090 / what I'm writing last endpoint, Thai Airways / book, Thai Airways / fetch, Thai Airways / fetch by number, ID, whatever that ID is there. Okay, okay. So now let's see. Okay, sir, I got an idea. So what we need to do is nothing but I want to create one Spring Boot application. So to create a Spring Boot application, what we require? Annotations. Along with annotations, what is required? HTTP methods. HTTP methods means which one you are developing. Get for reading, post for sending, put for updating, delete for deleting. For example, if my HTTP method is, I'm writing one side HTTP method, and here I will use annotation guys. Suppose if my HTTP method is getter, then I need to use @get mapping. If my HTTP method is post, then I need to use @post mapping. Means which operation you are doing. Assume that if I'm doing what here put, then I should say what here put mapping. If I'm using delete, then I should say delete mapping. Like this we need to use. So which method I am using? Based on that method, I need to take that method annotation I need to use. Method based annotation I need to use. Okay, these are the annotations. So that is the reason we need to follow like this. Yes. So now let's start what is Spring Boot application. Now I want to create one Spring Boot application. So to create a Spring Boot application, we need to follow one architecture, guys. So Spring Boot follows one architecture. So let me explain what is that architecture here is. This architecture is known as flow layered architecture. If anyone says, how can you generate the Spring Boot project? So we can generate a Spring Boot project with the help of layered architecture, flow layered architecture. So see here, what I want to tell you, we have a client is giving one HTTP request. HTTP request means what? Get, post, put, delete. These are known as what? HTTP requests. So where my request should go, guys? My request should go to the controller. Because web application. See, Spring Boot is also used to create a web application. So what is the rule of web application? Whenever you are giving the request, whenever you are sending the request, whenever you are hitting the request, our request should go to controller first. My request should go to the controller. But what controller will do? Controller will not have any business logic. Controller will call to service layer. Service layer is having business logic. So controller will call the methods of service layer. Service layer will perform the operations in database with the help of repository. So might be you are thinking, why we require the repository in the service layer? See, when you are working with advanced Java, JDBC, we need to write the queries. We need to write the queries manually. Insert into database. These are the values. You need to insert the data. You need to write queries in advanced Java. But do you think that in Spring Boot, are we writing the queries? No, we are not writing the queries. We are not writing any database queries here. We will tell to repository, a repository, you have save method. Save method. What method? Save method. So there is a one save method will be there. I will call save method and repository will insert the data in the database. So you tell me, you are a non-technical person and you don't have database knowledge. You don't have database knowledge. So what we need to do in advanced Java? In advanced Java, we need to write the queries. Insert into student values. Assume that 101, let's say Ramana. I'm giving what here? Vizag. Like this I'm giving us. The such information I'm sending. I'm sending this information. So now repository, what it will do? Repositories, what they will do, you know, they have one save method. Save, which is save? Student save. It will save that student information. So tell me which one is good? Writing query is good or just calling save method is good? Calling save method good is na. That is the reason when we are learning a Spring Boot na, we don't require any database knowledge also. But when you are learning advanced Java, you require database knowledge. Okay, sir, we got an idea. Remember, there are 3 repositories are there here. And this repository is where it is present, you know, Spring Data JPA is. Spring Data JPA. Spring Data JPA is having these repositories. There are total 3 repositories are there. Based on the requirement, we can take any one of the repositories. JPA repository, paging and sorting repository, and CRUD repository. The total 3 repositories are there here. Okay, we got an idea, sir. So service, what it will do? Service will say to repository, a repository, you have some predefined methods, na? Give me that methods. I want to store my data. I want to read the data from database like that. Okay. So this is known as what here? Flow layered architecture. So what we need to do? We need to develop our application, guys. Our application means this application. I want to develop this application. Thai Airways booking, flight booking application I want to develop. So see here, what I will do now, I will show you one example to you. What we need to do, see here. First, so to develop flight booking application or online ticket booking application. So what I want to do now, first let me explain the architecture properly, guys. So what I'm going to do now, I will explain one more time in my own angle, guys, my own angle now. So see here, there will be a one client will be there here, client. This client is known as what here? Postman. What is the client name? Postman. Sir, what is this Postman? Postman is a tool to test our APIs. Assume that you generate some APIs. So I want to test they are working or not working. So how will you test your APIs? With the help of Postman. Postman is a tool to test our APIs. So every request will come from Postman only. For reading the data, inserting the data, for updating the data, for deleting the data, who will give the request? Postman. Postman will give. Then we are creating web application. We are creating a web application here. So that's why we need to go for what a controller here. What we need to go? Controller. So what I am taking flight controller, guys. What is the name of my controller? Flight controller. So whenever my request will go to flight controller only. And flight controller will call to what? Flight service. It will call to what here? Flight service. Then flight service will take the support of flight repository. It will take the support of what here? Flight repository. And after this, what I can say? Flight repository is there here. Then after that, flight repository, we are communicating with databases. We are communicating with database. We are communicating with database. Which database I want to use? Let's say MySQL database. MySQL or H2 database. Any database you can use. If you don't want to use MySQL, even we have what here? H2 database. What database? H2 database also. Embedded database. So now what happens, first my request will go to the what here? HTTP request. This is called which request? HTTP request. Our request will go to controller first. What controller will do? Controller will call to what here? Service. Service will call to what here? Repository. But here we need to take entity, guys. This is known as what here? Entity. Entity. What is that entity? That is known as what here? Flight. Flight is my entity. Entity means which class information I want to store. So I am telling which class information? Flight information I want to store inside the what here? MySQL database like this. Understood my point here? So this many things we need to create. So tell me to generate this, what is required you understand, guys. You required what is required you understand. We required a controller, we required a service, we required a repository, and database also required, and we have a what here? Flight. So based on that, we are generating the project, guys. We are generating the project. How I am generating the project, you can see here. I will go here. I will take my what here? Spring Boot project structure, guys. Spring Boot project structure. So what happens in Spring Boot project structure? I will create my project name, Thai Airways. What is my project name? Thai Airways. You can take any name. But as per the microservices says your name must be lowercase, project name. So that's why I'm writing what here? Thai Airways. See here what I'm going to do. Here automatically you can find src/java/ what you can find? Main. You can see now already we have seen this, the project. You can see this. src/main/java. After that, what is there here? Main/resources. Copy this. We have resources. Even we have what it? Testing also. See here we have a testing also, you can see. src test/java. What we should write? Test/java. Okay, then it is also having one pom.xml file. So all are not important, but I am taking which classes are important, I will take that. Any of for testing also we don't require because I don't want to do any testing here. So don't open your video, guys. Okay, don't open your video. Okay, just watch now. It's very interesting example. So in the resources, you know very well, you have option, guys. You have option. You can go for application dot properties file. Which file we need to use? Automatically will be created. You don't need to create anything. It will come automatically. Then here what we need to do inside this Java, here we need to write the code. Tell me what is a base package in dot quality thought dot www. This is my base package. And inside this base package only, we created what here? Here we have created Thai Airways application.java. Automatically it will create this. Why it will create? What is my application? What is my project name? Thai Airways. So it will create Thai Airways. What will be added last? Application.java. Automatically one file will be created. And this package is known as base package, guys. What package? Base package, PKG package, not per kilogram. Okay, so we got the base package. So what is the rule? What is the rule in Spring Boot? In Spring Boot, there is a rule is there. Whenever you are creating controller, whenever you are creating service, whenever you are creating repository, whenever you are creating entities, your beans, it should be from base package only. Tell me what is your base package here? In dot, okay, I'm taking what here? In dot quality thought dot www. So what we need to do, see here, base package same. Base package same, na? Yes. Then we should write what here? Dot controller. Similarly, what I should do? Same I should copy. What I want? Next package. Service. We need to create service. Then we need to go for what? Repository. What we need to use? Repository. And even we need to go for one is known as what here? Entity. So total how many packages we need to create? 4 packages. Don't ask me why we need to create these 4 packages. See the diagram. See the diagram, you will be realize why we required. We have a flight controller. We have a flight service. We have a flight repository. Last we have entity down. So total 4 classes we need to write in 4 packages. So let's write those information here. So what we are writing is nothing but here I will say which one I am telling flight controller dot Java. Comes here. I want to write information that is nothing but flight. What I can say service dot Java. Then I want to go with next one. I will go with what here? Flight repository.java. And last we have that is known as flight.java. And remember, repositories are interfaces only. So don't think that flight repository is a class. Array, flight controller is a class. Flight service is a class. Flight is a class, but repositories are interfaces. So let me write here I. I means what here? It is an interface. I'm writing in a shortcut. So first what you need to do for every project, whenever you are creating the REST APIs, you need to follow this layered architecture. Assume that tomorrow you join in a company people set to create the REST APIs for product. So what will you do? Product controller, product service, product repository, product. Don't say product entity, only product. Understood my point here now? So if you know the structure, You can design any application tomorrow. You can generate any REST API. Okay. So this is what I need to do right now. So same thing I will follow here. How to generate this, I will show you. First, we need to generate this. Open. Now I need to create the new project. New project I need to create Thai Airways. So go to the file, new Spring Starter project. Open the Spring Starter project. I will say, I will go with what here? Thai Airways. Base package I want to keep same. I don't, instead of quality thought, can I say QA? Shortcut, because it's becoming very lengthy and time is also very less. It's a very big application, guys. Almost it will take, two hours to explain these examples. Okay, let's see here. I will just try to wrap it up as soon as possible, but understanding is more important. So QA I'm writing, and then I'm telling here also base package I need. My base package should come with what here? QA. So that is my package. This is my base package. So I need to do next. So do you need any starter? Yes. So now what happens, to generate this application. So what are the dependencies are required? Nothing but starters. I will say to starter, a starter, step one. Step one, what I need to do? Add dependencies. So what starters will do? Starters will say, I want to add dependency. Tell me which dependency. First one, I want to take a Spring Web. Spring Web dependency. Sir, why we require Spring Web dependency? Controller is there now. Whenever you find controller, you need to add Spring Web. Then we need to add Spring Data JPA. Why Spring Data JPA? You are working with repositories now. Repositories are available where? Spring Data JPA only. Okay. Then I want to take the support of MySQL driver. Don't ask me why. Where we are storing the information? MySQL database. From where we are reading the data? From MySQL database. So MySQL driver is required. And one more thing it is, in my system already MySQL database is installed. You just go to the Google, you just type MySQL database, download. You can download and you can install next, but it will ask for password. So default username will be root. So during the installation, you set your password. I kept to root only. Username also root, password is also root. And next I want to take Project Lombok. Project Lombok. Why we are using Project Lombok, I will explain when I'm developing the project. So these are the starters we need to use. Okay, so I will tell to the Spring Boot, I need a Spring Web. Spring Web. It will add Spring Web. Now I will tell I need Spring Data JPA. Yes, add it. I will say I need Project Lombok. Just type Lombok. You can type what here? Lombok. Next we required what here? MySQL driver. So now you can see here, even I required what here? MySQL driver. So you can see here there are 4 information came. Okay, there's 4 dependencies, 4 starters I have added. So I need to do next, I need to do finish. It takes little time to create the project because it will add all the dependencies. So I do one thing here, only just say what here? Lombok. We pronounce Project Lombok, but dependency name is only what here? Lombok. So let me change here. We are not writing quality thought because it's a very big name. Yeah, it's a big name only in market also. So we will go for what? QA. We wrote QA or we wrote QT? Okay. Okay, quality thought actually. QT I should write here. Okay, let's say QT it is. Otherwise, anyhow, name does not matter here. QA. I'm just giving quality thought. So I'm giving QA. Okay, just I gave like this quality QA, quality thought. So now what we need to do? Okay, sir, we have added now. Project is added successfully. You can see here, Thai Airways. So now you just expand here. Now we need to go to what here? Main Java. Open this main Java. You can find what here? in.qa.www. So this is my the package which is created, base package. So you go to the main Java. I want to create the controller. First, you can create a package. I can say in.qa.www. So it is next. I want to create what here? Controller. It's a controller. And inside this, what I will do, right click new class. What I need flight controller class. So see this, there is a flight controller came inside this controller. So this is the one way of creating the, class. First you create package, then create class. Otherwise you do one thing, you can click on main Java once again, new, directly you go for what? Class. And here you need to give the package first. in.qa.www. What you want? Service. And here I can say flight service. Like that also we can do. So let's go again main/Java new. But this time what I need? I need interface repository. Click on this. So let's say in.qa.www. What I'm telling? Repository. You can say repo also, repo. I'm giving complete repository. And then here I'm writing flight repository Intel. Okay, we got it. Now I need to go to what here? Entity. Right click new class. I can say in.qa.www. I can say entity. So here I will say what here? Flight. Yes. So now you can see here all the packages, whatever the packages I told I created. Now, first of all, what I need to do, I need to go to the flight guys. Where I need to go? I need to go to the flight. So what I need to do inside this flight, here we need to take at the rate entity. Entity. So 1 second, guys. First of all, we do one thing. What are the information is required? What is the information is required? Flight number. So let's say I will do one thing. Private int. I will say what here? Flight number. So what I will do? Private int flight name. Some name I am giving. Last I will say int flight, nothing but ticket price. What I want to give? Ticket price. That's enough. We have many more information, departure, arrival, time, from, to. We have many more information because time is not available. So let me wrap it up. Let's see how much I can finish. So, and what's the rule? One should be what here? Primary key. So who is the primary key here? Flight number. So at the rate, we need to take ID. So you need to take at the rate ID, then it is becomes primary key. It will not accept duplicates. It will not accept null. Then remaining are normal columns. Normal columns it is. So I need to write columns at the rate column. These are the normal columns at the rate column. And here I need to write at the rate entity. Okay. So might be you are getting one question here. Why we are generating like this? And even I want to do at the rate table also. At the rate table. So I did not understand, sir, why are you writing this? Why are you writing this entity class? What's the purpose in the real time? What's the purpose of this entity class in the real time? See here, this is the class I created. I created this class. It means it is telling the table. Entity means object. Which object it is? Flight object. This is nothing but what object? Flight object. So this is having which information? Flight number, flight name, and it is having what here? Ticket price. So tell me total how many information is available? 3. Do you know why we are using Spring Data JPA? Spring Data JPA we are using because I don't want to store the data in the form of variables. I want to store my data in the form of objects. So now what happens, in Spring Data JPA, we are not sending the variable. I am not telling take flight number, take flight name, take ticket price. I am not giving like this. What I am sending to database? Object. Flight object I am sending, one entity. I will say, a database, I am sending this object, store this object. But database, how he will understand what should be my table name, what should be my column name here. So tell me here you are using what you are using? At the rate table. At the rate table means what is your class name? Flight. So here there is a one table will be created, flight table. Tell me how many columns are available? 3 columns: ID, flight number, flight name, ticket price. So whatever the variables you are using in that class, that is only the columns. Understood the internal representation? Yes. So don't ask me tomorrow how this information is getting stored in the form of table tomorrow. So your entities, whatever the entities we are creating like this, they will be considered as an object. That object will go to the what? Database. That's the work of Spring Data JPA. And there he will ask, what is my table name? Flight. You wrote at the rate table. At the rate table, you said flight means your table name is also flight. If your class name is flight, table name is also flight. Then it will check how many variables are there. So 3 variables means how many columns will be created? 3 columns will be created in the table, guys. Okay, this is what happens with the help of Spring Data JPA. Okay, so what happens, now what we are doing is nothing but we require setters and getters. We require setters and getters, guys. But I don't want to create setters and getters. Project Lombok came with one data type, one annotation, at the rate data. So if you type this at the rate data, for every variable, for every property, actually in entities we never say variables, we always pronounce properties. For every properties, what we will get? Setters, getters we will get. Even we will get hash code and toString method also. You can see here there is a outline will be there, right side. Can you see this outline? Click on this outline, you can see get flight number, get flight name, get ticket price, set flight name, set flight number, set ticket price, equals method, hash code method, toString method, everything is coming. Click on that outline, it will go. If you require any constructor, you can say at the rate no argument constructor. If you don't need any constructor, if you need all parameterized constructor, you can write all parameterized constructor. So this is a specialty of a project Lombok, guys. Lombok will give you this 3. These 3 annotations will be there inside Lombok, only to concise the code, to make my code smaller. So to avoid the boilerplate code problem, to remove the duplicates, redundancies. So we are working with what here? Project Lombok. Everyone understood how to create this? So this is a simple example I gave you, how to create a what here? Flight. I mean, just an entity. Then what I need to do? I need to go to the what here? Controller, guys. So controller means what we need to do? We are generating APIs, REST APIs. So compulsory we need to take one annotation called REST controller. Okay, REST controller we need to use. And here what we require, tell me, REST controller will call to what? Service methods. So we required service object here. So how we will get service object? With the help of dependency injection. To achieve dependency injection, we need to take auto wired annotation. And here I can say I want flight service. Flight service. Okay, like this. So with the help of this, you are getting which object, guys? Flight service. With the help of @auto wired. Now what I will do now? We have a REST controller, guys, no doubt. But tell me, whenever we are sending the request, you see this. Whenever we are sending the request, what is common is coming? Thai Airways, then book. So what we need to do, here after this REST controller, I need to take request mapping. So request mapping, what I need? I need Thai Airways, like this. I need this request mapping. And then I will say here, public. Okay, public. What I need flight. I am telling what here? Add flight details. So now what I will do now? Here, I will take one. We are inserting the data. So what I should take here? Post mapping. Post mapping for inserting the data. When it has to post, whenever I am typing what here? Book. And remember, here it will take my flight parameter. But the data, who will pass that flight data? Postman. To read the data from postman, we need to take @request body annotation. Understood my point here now? Why we need to take request body here? Because postman will give flight details. So who will take that one? Request body. It will store in flight. Then what we need to do? We need to call return. What is the name of this service here? Flight service. Flight service dot, I can say add flight details, that flight I want to store. See here what we need to do. Same method, same method. Let me copy. And let me go to the what here? Service. I will explain. Wait here. So to create a service, we need to take @service annotation. So what we need to do here? We require repository object. But how to get repository object? Through dependency injection. How to achieve dependency injection? @auto wired annotation. Here I can say flight repository. Flight repository, let's say flight repository. Then here I will say the same method. But this time you can see here, I don't need request body, guys. Because annotations, who will take? Controller only. And if you see properly, my controller is having what method? Public flight, add flight details. My service also having what here? Public flight, add flight details. Same. Only it will not support what? Annotation. But in controller, we are calling a service method. But in service, we will call repository method. What's the repository? Flight repository dot save. What save? Flight. Whatever the flight I gave, you save that one. Understood my point here now? So what I will do now? Ref repository dot okay. So here I can say dot what here? Save. What save? Flight. So what we need to do? We need to keep repository ready. I told you there are 3 repositories are there. So I want to do extends with JPA repository. Which repository? JPA repository. First, it will take your entity name. Tell me, what is my entity name? Flight. Second, it will take your primary key. What's the primary key? Integer. See this here? You go here. What you have taken here? Int. Int means what here? Integer. Wrapper class. Control plus shift plus O. This is what you need to do. If you do this, then only you will get which method? Save method here. So now done. This is done, guys. This is completed. So what is done now? My first program is completed. My first means posting, inserting the data completed. So what I will do now, I will go to the applications dot what here? Properties file, guys. I want to go to the applications dot properties file. So time is not available, guys. So what I will do, I cannot write manually now because we do one thing. Let's say, so I do one thing. So I'm just doing one thing. Here, otherwise I will do just to go to this one because time is not there. So I will do somewhat copy paste here because time is already over now. So see here, just give me 2 minutes, guys. I mean, 5 minutes you give me. I will just try to conclude this. Okay. So see here, this is my applications.properties file. What I will do, I will keep the information for you people, guys. What information? Tell me in which port number my application is running 9090. You know, in the real time, every applications runs with one port number. So 9090 is the port number where my application is running. And this is my, you know, whenever we are communicating with database, so we require driver class, username and password. So we have a driver class, URL, username, password. So this information we need to give. But here what I want to do, I want to give you QA demo, QA underscore demo, guys. So this is known as what here? Schema name. Schema name means let's open the MySQL database. I have a MySQL database. I'm using command here. What is my password? I said root. So what we need to do here, first what I can do is, so what I will do now, here I will create schema, guys. Create a schema. What's the schema name? QA underscore what? Demo. Semicolon. Query is okay. Now use that schema. QA underscore what here? Demo. So now what we need to do? Now we have created the schema, guys. Schema is created. That is the schema. I gave it here. The same schema I gave it here. Understood my point? You know, in MySQL database, directly we cannot create tables. So first we need to create schema. Inside that schema, we are generating all the tables. So I'm giving that schema name, and for MySQL database, this is a port number. For MySQL database, 9090 is our application port number. Then what we need to do, you know, so I will take this one, guys. Hibernate, spring.jp hibernate DDL auto update. Update means, did you create the table? No. Table should be created automatically. Nah? You need to write this property. And then we have a dialect class. So dialect class is for communicating with what database? MySQL database. If you have this dialect class, then only you can interact with MySQL database. So these are the minimum configurations you need to do. Now your application is ready. So let's run this application. So let's right click run as. I want to do Spring Boot application. Spring Boot application. Now you can see here. So now you can see here, you can see my application. And now you can find here, my application is running under which port number? 9090, it's running now. And what is the server it is using internally? Tomcat, embedded server, na? Yes. Automatically it will take the Tomcat server, don't worry, whenever we are creating the web application. So now what I need to do now. So we need to open the Postman, guys. You know, I have downloaded Postman. You can find here. Here. Can you see the Postman here? You just download from the Google, guys. Open this Postman. Open the Postman. And tell me which method we wrote? Post mapping. So here, let me open this Postman. So wait here, it is, I just click now, it is getting open. So actually Spring Boot means it will take whole day to explain only 2 to 3 applications. Whole day it will take 8 hours. Anyhow, so now you can see here, it's getting open, guys. Wait here. And you should have minimum 8 GB. 16 GB means it is well and good, guys. 8 GB means your system will get a hang, it will get slow. So make sure that if you have 16 GB, then you can work with Spring Boot easily. So now you can see here, you can find here, here you can find this method. Which method I want to use means post method. And what is my request actually? 9090 slash, what I can do? Thai Airways slash, what I need to type? Book. Book we need to do. And just click on body and you can find what here? Raw. And make sure that here you can find which JSON. JSON should you need to select. So tell me what the first one I said. First one is flight number. Second, I want to give what here? Flight name. Last one, I want to give what here? Ticket price. Same names. Whatever the names you have taken in entity, property names. So flight number, I'm giving 1101. Flight name, I'm giving, let's say, Jersey. Ticket price, I want to give 35,000. Assume that this is what I gave. So what we need to do here, you can see there is a one button is there here. Which button is there? Send button. So see here, it is giving what here? One error here. It is giving what here? Bad request. So flight number, flight name, flight price. Okay. So sometimes what happens, you know, you do one thing. I will go to the what here. Here. Currently, I'm just removing this request mapping, guys. Okay. I'm just removing the what here? Request mapping. But our request is same now. Thai Airways. In the postman also what I gave. I need to check. Thai Airways. Okay, bad request is telling. Okay, fine, no, fine. Sometimes it will happen, don't worry. So this some problems will come like this. You don't need to worry. Just remove this request mapping. We'll add it later. Now what I will do, I will stop the application. Then I want to do relaunch. So relaunch I want to do. So now you can see here. It is running which port number? 9090. Now post, yes, we have a post. Thai Airways. Click. Again, it's giving what? Bad request. But this time we are not giving, sorry, I need to remove this what? Thai Airways. Just click here. Again, it's giving what? Let me check in the table. Select star from flight. It's empty set. Flight number, flight name. I want to check here. JSON parts error cannot in from string Jersey. Not a valid. We took integer. Oh God. So see here, now we can go to the what here entity, guys. Where is that entity? Let me go to this entity. So I think here you can see here, by mistake, flight name I took what here? Integer. That's the reason it was not working. So I want to take flight name as what? And your flight numbers, flight name can be number also. Yes or no, tell me. But I want to take string, save this, but I need to do the corrections there. So I hope now we will not face any problem. So let's relaunch. Relaunch it is. So relaunch is done. So now you go there, Postman. You just click internal server error. So what is the server error is coming? We'll check that one. So, okay, not to worry. Getting errors are very good for us, guys. It will increase our knowledge. Value. What is telling? Value. Okay. So we do one thing. I will do one thing. Well, we'll go to the MySQL database, drop table. What's the table name? Flight. Okay, so let me check here. I did anything here. We have a flight. We have a flight column is string. We have any service. No, yes, everything is correct. So I do one thing. I will do one thing. I will stop this one more time and I will run this. Run as Spring Boot. So the problem is what here? Integer to string. If we give integer, it have taken there. But okay. So let's go to the here and just type the request enter. Yes. So now you can find here the data is inserted. Don't worry. That time, sometimes, STS ID will not work, whatever the changes you are doing. Sometimes we need to close and we need to on. We need to open. Sorry, we need to open. Then it will work. So see here, I am typing select star from what? Flight. So what is inserted? 101 Jersey 35,000. So I hope you've got an idea how we are doing now. So better what you can do is nothing, but you can add that request mapping also. You just keep the request mapping and execute. So that time what we need to do, this is the request mapping. So go to the what here at the rate, what we can keep request mapping. Here we can give what here? Thai Airways. So again, what you need to do, you need to stop. Again, you need to do relaunch. Relaunch means I want to do from here, right? Click, run as Spring Boot. Because relaunch, if I'm doing, it's not relaunching properly, even though if you do this, it is better, guys. And now you can see here, my application is running now. I will open the Postman. So I will say 102. Let's say Jersey now, let's say Emirates, something. Flight name Emirates, something like that. Here I'm giving 40,000. We can take anything we can take. So here I should write what here? Thai Airways /book. You just click here. So now data is inserted. Now you can see here. You can find total how many data? 2 data. So I hope you people understood how we are posting the data. Similarly, we need to read the data. We need to update the data. So reading is also possible, guys. Reading is also possible. For that reason, again, we need to write some code inside the what here controller. Inside the controller, we need to write. So I will give you last this one. Okay, post mapping, I'm showing the last one. But remember, if required, we can generate any type of REST API. Actually, my intention is to explain what here, all the REST APIs. But due to time, insufficient for us. But don't worry. So might be I will conduct one more, this Java workshop I will conduct next time. So in that workshop, I will be explaining the complete, Spring Boot and security also. See why security is important. See, many people says, do we need to learn Spring security or not? Yes. Why? Because tell me, whenever we are sending to any, assume that I will open the paint. This is my application. Which application? Thai Airways. Thai Airways is my application. And this is this is we, guys. We means us. This is our computer. So what we are doing is nothing but we are giving the request now. We are giving the request to our application. How we are giving the request to our application? We are giving a API. API we are using. We are using API like this. http://localhost:9090/ what I'm typing? Thai Airways /book. So tell me, but I need my request should not go directly. So whenever you give any request, I need one box should come, one box. For what here? Username and password. What I need? Authentication box. So this type of application we can develop by using Spring Security. So Spring Security says, whenever you want to hit the request, you can't hit the request directly. So what do you need to use? Okay, authentication and authorization means using the Spring Security is used for authentication only, authentication and authorization purpose only. Assume that tomorrow when you join a company and company people are telling, I need this authentication application, authentication. I need this authorization. So immediately you need to understand, array, this authentication and authorization we can do with the help of Spring Security only. So nothing you need to do. You just need to add just one dependency, guys. You do one thing, you do right click, you go to here, Spring, you go to add starters, and you just type here, in the starter, you type Spring Security. What you can do? Spring Security. Next, you can do next. Then you select on pom.xml file. Then you do click finish. So now you can see, okay, now that is enabled. So you stop the application. You stop the application. So now what you need to, don't do relaunch. If you are relaunching, it is not taking the changes. So what you need to do? Right click, run as, what I'm doing? Spring Boot. So see here, when I do this and see what is happening now. It is creating the application. So what happens, this is the what here. Okay, now you can see here, we cannot give the request now. It is generating one password. We cannot hit any request. So whenever we hit request, it will ask for what? Authentication, username and password. Password is generated. If you don't need this password, what we can do, go to your application. In STS ID, this is my STS ID. Go to that applications.what here, properties file. So what we can do is nothing but here we can add a Spring Security, guys. What we can add? Security. So what I can say, Spring username. What is my username? System. Or I can say my username is what? User only. Spring dot security dot user dot password. What's my password I want to keep? Admin. So like this also we can enable the Spring Security configurations also. Now tell me, this time it will not create any password. So you are using this username with this password, and using that only we are interacting with application. All we can use all REST APIs. Understood my point here now? So remember, that is important. I'm giving a shortcut idea because time is over now. So this is what I want to tell you in this session, guys. I hope you people understood how we are working with what here? Spring Boot in the real time. So thank you, guys. Thank you for coming and attending this session here. So few people asked me some questions here. See, Lombok means what happened, we are reducing Likith. Project Lombok means why we are using is nothing but to reduce the code actually. Because without Project Lombok, we need to write lot of setters and getter methods. So it's very difficult for us to write setters and getters, and it will also increase the length of our code. To reduce that, we are using a project Lombok. So APIs, REST APIs means, let me explain here. We are not interacting with the server directly. We are not interacting with any distributed cloud computing or clusters. We are directly interacting with API. For example, you want to withdraw some money. So today you will not go to the bank now. We will go to ATM machine. So that is the API, and indirectly it is an interface. So API is also interface between third-party application and your systems. I mean the server. That is what here API. Next is what here. Yes, see, we are giving the videos. In the videos, everything is available. If you need PPTs, you can just ask to the management. As I told you, you can log in to www.qualitythought.in. You can find, even when we shared this link, even we gave you all the details. So you just contact to the management, they will share it to you. Sir, STS and Eclipse both are same. So both are not same. Eclipse is only for Java applications like core Java and advanced Java. STS is for what here? Completely for Spring frameworks. So they are Eclipse based only. See, STS looks like Eclipse only, but is having some additional features when compared to Eclipse. Sir, what can we do? Oracle configuration? Yes, we can do any database. If you want to take MongoDB, you can take MongoDB. NoSQL, you can use NoSQL. Oracle, H2 database, MySQL, any database we can use. MySQL does not support, sir. No, everyone supports. Volume not work. So volume is your problem. Your screen not visible. I shared the screen. I hope I clarified all the doubts here. So don't worry. It's a, the workshop only for 2.5 hours only. But when we meet in our regular sessions, I will be explaining in deeply in a slow manner. So that time you'll understand everything clearly without doubts. Okay. So thank you guys. Thank you for coming and attending my session. I hope you understood my session, and we'll continue. We'll meet if you are coming on Monday, guys.
Yes.
Okay.